All right, 3.6 homework. Here we go. I have tried to record this video so many times, and then I keep getting distracted and starting over, and so here we go. Take number 3. Okay. For each function, find the indicated values. Okay, so h of t equals 2t minus 5. They say what is h of negative 4? So they substituted negative 4, or they want you to substitute negative 4 in for t. T is negative 4. T is negative 4. You can always change your variables to y and x. If that makes your brain happier, you can always change your variables to y and x. Y would be h, t would be x. Okay? The variable that's in the equation, you can always change it. If it's a t, you can change it to an x. If it's an s, you can change it to an x. If it's a p, you can change it to an x. If that makes you happy, do that. All right, so h of negative 4. So I'm just going to substitute. Oh, I can't. Hold on, I can't write on this yet. Okay. Going to substitute negative 4 in for t. So I have h of negative 4 equals 2 substituted in times negative 4, and then minus 5. Okay, so then 2 times negative 4 is negative 8, minus 5 equals negative 13. So the answer to this one is negative 13. This time, they say h of t is equal to 23. So you're not substituting in for t. See how they put it in the parentheses over here? They replaced the t with negative 4. They were substituting in negative 4 for t. This one, you substitute 23 in for h of t. 23 equals, and then rewrite the equation, 2t minus 5. And then you just solve for t. So you would, let's see if it'll let me move down. You want to get 2t by itself. Oh, goodness, thank you. So I'm going to add 5 to get rid of my negative 5. If I add 5 here, I have to add 5 on the other side of my equal sign. Plus 5. So then I have 23 plus 5 is going to be 28. We're just writing on the graph. 28 equals negative 5 plus 5 is just 0, so that's gone. We can cross it out. So all you have left on this side is 2t. So this is 2 times t. This means what number times 2 equals 28? So to figure that out, you can divide both sides by 2. 28 divided by 2 is 14. 2 divided by 2 is 1, so it's just t equals 14. Nope, that's really high up. Okay, this one, similar to A, h of 13. So I'm going to substitute 13 in for t. I'm not going to show all the work. So see, that would be 2, substitute in 2 times 13 is 26, minus 5 is 21. And then this one's like B. You have h of t equals negative 33. So you're going to substitute negative 33 in for h of t in your equation. So negative 33, and then rewrite your equation, equals 2t minus 5. And then you would solve for t. You would add 5 to both sides, and that would be negative 33 plus 5 is negative 27. Oops. No, it's not. It's negative 28. There we go. I was like, that's not going to give you an even number. Negative 28. So then that would be negative 28 equals negative 5 plus 5 would be 0, so there's 2t, and then you divide both sides by 2, so you would get negative 14. Okay. Make sure, okay. 2 and 3, you're analyzing the graph. So for 2, this is an exponential graph. You have to get, you should really be good at recognizing these, or get good at recognizing exponential graphs. They're a curve like this. So g of 2 equals what? Okay. So this graph is g of x. So they're saying if I substitute 2 in for x, what is y? What is g of x? Y is the same thing as g of x. Y is the same thing as r of x. You can substitute y in for those if it makes you happier. I totally understand that. You can do that. It's totally valid and legal. Okay, so if x is 2, what is y? So x is 2, and then we follow this line up. Y is 9. I think in class I drew a line. I can draw a line. So x is 2, and then we draw a line straight up until we hit, there it is, right there. X is 2, y is 9. All right. This one, they're doing the opposite. This time they give you the g of x value or the y value. Y is 3, what is x? You're just looking at points on the graph. Y is 3, follow it over, x is 1. I can draw another line. Y is 3, which is right here. Oh, if I can draw a straight line. Debatable. Ah, sure, pretend that's straight. X is 3, y is 3, x is 1. Oh. Sorry. Let's click back on my little text thing. X is 1. Okay. G of 0. So when x is 0, you see how they're just putting the 0 in where the x was? The x was there, they substitute a 0 in. The x was there, they substitute a 0 in. So when x is 0, what is your other value? X is 0, y is 1, right there. Okay, write the explicit rule. I need this to go away. So that means write the equation. This is an exponential, so you're going to use your explicit exponential equation. Y equals a times b raised to the x. That's my exponent, okay? So what is, so remember, in this equation, a is equal to your y-intercept. B is equal to your ratio. Okay. So what is my y-intercept? Look at my graph. When x is 0, what is y? Where does it cross the y-axis? It crosses it at 1. So go over here. Oh, nope, not there. We'll go right here. That's in my way. I'm going to delete it. Can I not delete? Okay. There we go. Y equals, oh sorry, just A equals 1. Okay. Our y-intercept is 1. What is this thing? And this needs to go away. Can I not just delete this box? Aha! Okay. Ignore everything that just popped up. So then B is your ratio. So that is, what are we multiplying by each time? So I'm going to see if I can make a table. I like to make a table. So I'm going to draw a text box. Okay. I'm going to have x values, and then I'm going to have y. So I'm going to pull out some points. So when x equals 0, y is 1. That's our intercept, so that's a point on the graph. When x equals 1, x equals 1, y is 3. So we can already, with our 2 points, we can figure it out. And my x values are just going up by 1. So I'm just going, okay, what's my y value doing? How am I getting from 1 to 3? It's an exponential graph, so I know I'm multiplying by something. So 1 times what number equals 3? 3. But if you want to prove it to yourself, which is always a good idea, you can plug in another point. When x is 2, y is 9. We already figured that out. We can also look at the graph. X is 2, y is 9. Okay, now it's more obvious. I'm multiplying by 3 each time, so my ratio is 3. A equals 1, B equals 3, and then you just fill in your equation. Which, if it'll let me do over here, I'll do it over here. Okay. Yes. Y equals, substitute 1 in for A, 1, and then B is 3 raised to the x power. You don't have to write the 1, because 1 times 3 to the x is just 3 to the x, so really you could just write y equals 3 raised to the x power. See if I can highlight these. Is that allowed? Maybe. Well, okay, fine. We'll just make it a different color. Make it obvious it's the answer, hopefully. We'll make it. Don't want it all to be pink. I just want my answer to be pink. Whatever, we'll leave it. Hopefully people will be able to see that that's the answer. This is quite obnoxious, actually. Just want to highlight it. Nope. Forget it. Okay, moving on. So same idea, you're analyzing the graph. So this is r of x, this line. The function is called r of x. So when x equals -1, what is y? -1. Y is, it looks like it hits it at 10. Okay. That's fair. I did forget to go back to my right tool. 10 years later, oh my god, can I? Sorry. It's been a long afternoon. There it is, 10. Woo! Okay, r of x is equal to 4. So your y value is 4. What is x? So y is 4. X is 1. You're just looking at your graph. R of 2, so x is 2. What is y? X is 2. Y is 1. Okay, then this is linear, so when you're writing your explicit rule, you can use either point slope or slope intercept. I recommend slope intercept. So you need to know your y-intercept, which is b. B equals, what's your y-intercept? It is, do we not know what it is? No, there it is. 7? 7. It crosses it at 7. And then my slope, you can take 2 points. So we'll take the point 0, 7, and the point, you can choose any 2 points you want as long as you're on your line. 1, 4. Okay, change in y from 7 to 4, that's -3. So m equals -3 over the change in x. 0 to 1 is just 1, so that equals -3. Then when you write your actual equation, y equals, substituting your slope, which is -3, x, and then your y-intercept is 7 plus 7. All right. That was that. Here we go. Okay. So now they give you equations, and you have to find the indicated values. So s of 3, so here's your equation, s of t equals 5t plus 6. S of 3 equals what? So you're substituting in 3 in for t. S of 3 equals 5 times 3 plus 6 equals, 5 times 3 is 15, plus 6 equals 21. Okay. This one, you're not substituting in for t. This one, they're telling you S of t is equal to 36. So where do you see S of t in your equation? Right there. So that's where you're going to substitute in 36. 36 equals, and then rewrite your equation, 5t plus 6. And then you're solving for t. So you want to get 5t by itself. So I'm going to subtract 6 from here, and then do the same thing on the other side of the equal sign. I'm going to subtract 6, subtract 6. And that gives me 36 minus 6 is 30, equals 6 minus 6 is 0. So then you just have 5t left over here. And then you're solving for t. 5 times what number is 30? So you're going to divide both sides by 5. 30 divided by 5 is 6. 5 divided by 5 is 1, which is just t. So 6 equals t. Okay, same thing as a. You're going to substitute negative 4 in for t. So 5 times negative 4 is negative 20. Plus 6, negative 14. This one, once again, they tell you S of t equals negative 14. S of t equals negative 14. So you're going to substitute negative 14 in for S of t, and then you would solve it for t. Or you can just look at what we just did. When S of t equals negative 14, t is negative 4. So then I'm not going to show the rest, but I'll talk you through them. So a of x equals negative 3x plus 10. A of 5 equals what? So they're substituting 5 in for x. So negative 3 substituted in times 5 is negative 15 plus 10. Negative 15 plus 10 is negative 5. Alright, then you're substituting negative 2 in for x. X equals negative 2. So negative 3 times negative 2 is 6, positive 6, plus 10, 16. It's positive 6 because you're multiplying a negative times a negative, so that makes a positive. The negatives cancel each other out. Alright, this one, a of x equals 0. Oh, this one I'll do. Because I thought this one was, yeah, I'll do this one. So you're going to substitute 0 in for a of x. Do not substitute it in for x. You have to substitute it in for a of x. A of x equals 0. So 0 equals, rewrite your equation, negative 3x plus 10. And then you're going to solve it for x. So I'm going to get my negative 3x alone, so I'm going to subtract 10 from both sides from over here. Nope, okay. And from the other side, the equal sign, right there. So 0 minus 10, see if this can right down here. Nope, we'll go over here. So 0 minus 10, hold on, is negative 10 equals, I didn't do anything, so just rewrite the negative 3x, I didn't do anything to it. And then 10 minus 10 is 0, so that's what you're left with. And then you have to divide by the number in front of the x, so divide by negative 3. 10 divided by, negative 10 divided by negative 3 is just, you can leave it as a fraction, 10 over 3. But it turns into positive because a negative divided by a negative is a positive. If you want to turn it into a decimal, you can. But you can also leave it there. Okay, a of x equals 280. Same idea. You would substitute 280 in for a of x and then solve. So it would be 280 equals negative 3x plus 10. Subtract 10. So then you would have 270 equals negative 3x. You would divide by negative 3, which would give you negative 90. Okay. Here we go. B of r equals 10r minus 12. B of r equals 72. So you're substituting in 72 for this. B of r equals 72. Substitute in there. 72 equals 10r minus 12. Then you would add 12. That would be 90 equals 10r. Divide by 10. 9. B of r equals negative 62. So once again, you're substituting in for B of r. So it would be negative 62 equals 10r minus 12. You're going to add 12 to both sides. That's going to give you negative 50 equals 10r. You're going to divide by 10, and that is negative 5. B of r equals 118. Once again, you're going to substitute 118 into B of r. So you'd have 118 equals 10r minus 12. You would add 12 to both sides. You would get 130 equals 10r. And you would divide by 10, and that would give you 13. And then B of 13. So this time you're just substituting 13 in for r. So it would be 10 substitute in. So 10 times 13 is 130 minus 12, 118. Okay. Use the graph to answer the following questions. Let the red line be f of x and the other line be g of x. So yeah, I couldn't tell. The other line is like blue or green. Doesn't really matter. So when is f of x equal to g of x? When they intersect. They are equal to each other when they intersect. So they intersect at x equals 2, y equals 2. 2, comma, 2. That is when they are equal to each other. Okay, now you're analyzing the graph. Oh, let me scroll down. So f of 1 equals what? So you're looking at the f of x line, which is the red line. When x is 1, what is my y value? When x is 1, my y value is negative 1. Oh, negative 1. Okay, now g of 0. So we're looking at the other line. When x is 0, what is y on the blue line? When x is 0, it is 3. That's also the y-intercept of g of x. All right, this time they're telling me g of x equals 1, what is x? So now they're telling you my y value is 1, what is x? We're looking at the blue line. My y value is 1, x is 4. Y is 1, x is 4. Okay, what is the y-intercept of g of x? We already kind of answered that. It's where it crosses the y-axis, which is 3. So it is 0, 3. Oh, that's not where I meant to put that. I'll put it underneath. 0, 3. What is the x-intercept of f of x, of the red line? Where does it cross the x-axis? Right here. So somewhere between 1 and 1.5. I'm going to say 1.2. 1.2, and y is 0. There you go. Whew. Finally finished that recording. Whew. And stop.